Alright, in this case, I'm going to download the file, and I do so just by clicking on it. It's going to load it into the browser, and then I can hold down the Control key or the right key and save the image as, and I'm just going to save it down to the desktop. Photograph of Chunjan Yut. And just close that off. And now we're into Photoshop. We're going to open that up. File, open. Go to the desktop. There's the photograph, and we open it. The first thing I'm going to do is make a copy. So I go to my Layers palette, drag that down onto the duplicate icon, so we're working on a copy. I'm just going to unlock the background as well. So we have two versions. I'm going to straighten out this first version, but in order to do so, I'm going to bring my rulers in, Command R. Command R, and you see it toggles back and forth these rulers. And this allows me to pull down a guideline, just to mark the top corner. There's a guideline to mark the bottom corner, the left side, and the right side of that image, just as a reference. Then I'm going to select my Polygon Lasso tool. Right there. So I select the Polygon Lasso. And then I just want to go from corner to corner. So click here. There'll be a corner there. Click there. And then when I get to this corner, I'm just going to double click, and it completes a selection marquee. Now that I have that selected, I'm just going to issue the copy command, Command C, and then Command D to deselect. Command 0 to zoom out. And now, this top layer here, I'm just going to fill it with black. It's very simple. I can say Edit, Fill, and then I can fill it with any color, but in this case I want to fill it with black. Or by saying, setting my color to black and white there, resetting the palette, by hitting Option Delete, it will also fill it with black because black is the foreground color. Option Delete fills with the foreground color. Option Delete. Notice that layer is now filled in black. Now, I'm just going to go to the Move tool for now, and I'm going to Command V to paste that image in. I'm now going to use a transformation. I could do that from the Edit menu, Edit, and sorry, I have to Edit, Free Transform. I could do that, or issue Command T. Command T. It gives me this bounding box, and if I go up near the corner, you'll notice that it transitions to a rotate icon. And all I want to do is rotate it so that I get one or possibly two sides running parallel to my guidelines. So I just rotate it. The top looks pretty good, and so does the left-hand side. So I'm quite happy with the fact they're parallel. To commit to that transformation, I just double-click inside there, and it commits the transformation. I'm just going to move this over here. You may find that yours is snapping. I just find that I wanted the edge just to move over ever so slightly, move it over the edge of the blue lines. because eventually I'm going to trim it all off. So I've done that. And now I'm just going to use a final transformation. Edit, transform, distort. Again, gives me this bounding box. And it allows me to stretch out individual areas if need be. And that would include grabbing a corner and stretching it out if need be. Just know that you've got that in your back pocket to make any sort of last-minute adjustments. And I'm just going to take that in. I'm going to pull this out a little bit because that photograph was actually slightly bent. See how it's got a fold line there? It was folded, this edge and this edge are actually folded up towards the viewer. This wasn't put under glass and then photographed. It was just sitting loose, and both of those edges would have been popping up towards the viewer. So I'm just kind of stretching out that center section a little bit just to compensate for that. Double click to commit it, and now I'm going to use the rectangle marquee tool right here. And I'm going to select this area right here. And then I'm going to select the inverse of that, so everything but that. I'll go to Select, Inverse. Now it's selected all the background elements there, and I hit Delete. Command D to deselect. So what I've done is I've just cleaned it up, trimmed off the edge. I'm now going to get rid of these rulers, so back to the Selection tool. Oops. Sorry, I hit delete there by mistake. Drag that off, and drag that off. Drag that back off to the ruler, and that goes back there too. All right, so we've now got the image straightened out. Next, we're going to take a look at some of the tools that will allow us to heal that image. In the meantime, I'm just going to kind of center that. Okay, so we've got the image straightened and cropped.